The crystal chandelier above my head weighs more than I'll earn in 6 months. I know this because Mrs. Chen, the head housekeeper, mentioned it during my first week, right before telling me not to look up while dusting underneath it. One wrong move with the scaffolding, one miscalculation, and 12,000 pounds of Venetian glass becomes $1 million mistake that a girl like me could never afford to make. I keep my eyes down, always down. It's safer that way. The marble floors of the Rossi estate stretch out like a frozen lake, reflecting everything with brutal honesty. I can see myself in them as I work 22 years old, wearing a gray uniform that's too big in the shoulders, hair pulled back so tight it gives me headaches. I look exactly like what I am, part of the background. Mira, you missed a spot near the stairs. Mrs. Chen's voice cuts through my thoughts. She's not unkind, just efficient. In a house like this, efficiency is survival. Yes, ma'am. I grab my supplies and head toward the grand staircase, the one that curves up toward the private quarters I'm never allowed to enter. I've been working here for 3 months. 3 months of 6-day weeks, 10-hour shifts, keeping my head down and my mouth shut. The pay is better than the diner where I worked before, better than the grocery store before that. Good enough that I can almost keep up with Nana's medical bills. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. The Rossi family owns half of Chicago's South Side and probably a good chunk of everything else worth owning. I knew that before I applied. Everyone knows who Dante Rossi is, the man who rebuilt his father's empire from ashes, who commands loyalty with a look, who makes grown men nervous just by entering a room. I've never actually seen him. The help uses different entrances, different hallways. We move through this mansion quietly, keeping everything perfect for a family we're not supposed to notice. My fingers find the birthmark behind my left ear as I work, tracing the familiar shape. I've done this since I was a child whenever I'm nervous or thinking too hard. It's shaped like a crescent moon, dark against my olive skin. Nana used to say it meant I was blessed by night, protected by shadows. Right now, it just itches. I'm halfway through polishing the banister when I hear voices. Male voices, deep and commanding, coming from the direction of Mr. Rossi's study. My hands still automatically. We're supposed to make ourselves scarce when the family is around, blend into the wallpaper, but the voices are getting closer. I grab my cleaning supplies, ready to disappear down the servants' corridor, when the study doors burst open. 3 men emerge, all wearing expensive suits, all moving with that particular awareness that suggests violence is always an option. And then he walks out. Dante Rossi. He's maybe 40, dark hair touched with silver at the temples, wearing a charcoal suit that probably costs more than Nana's surgery. His eyes are the exact same shade of dark brown as mine, the same unusual amber flecks near the pupils. I look down immediately, my heart hammering. Rule number 1, don't make eye contact with Mr. Rossi. The shipment arrives Tuesday, one of the men is saying. We'll need extra security at the warehouse. Handle it, Mr. Rossi's voice is exactly what I expected. Low, controlled, carrying absolute authority. I don't. They're moving past me now, heading toward the front entrance. I'm just another piece of furniture, another servant. In 30 seconds, they'll be gone, and I can breathe again. My phone buzzes in my pocket. The sound is deafening in the quiet hallway. Horror floods through me as I fumble for it, trying to silence it, knowing I'm breaking at least 3 house rules by even having it on me during work hours. The men stop walking. Who's that? One of them, tall, built like a linebacker, turns to look at me. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I managed to kill the buzzing, my face burning. It won't happen again. You're new. Not a question. The linebacker moves closer, and I catch the bulge of a weapon under his jacket. What's your name? Mira Santos, sir. I'm very sorry about the phone. It won't... Let her be, Marco. Mr. Rossi's voice cuts through the tension. She's one of the housekeepers. Relief floods through me. He's dismissing me, letting me fade back into the background. I keep my eyes down, waiting for them to leave. Actually, boss, Marco hasn't moved. She looks familiar. You see it? My blood turns cold. Marco, we have business. Mr. Rossi sounds impatient. No, seriously. Look at her face. Really look. Silence. The kind of silence that precedes earthquakes. Then, quietly, dangerously, look at me. It's not a request. I raise my eyes slowly, every instinct screaming at me to run. But there's nowhere to go, and running would only make things worse. Dante Rossi stares at me like he's seeing a ghost. His face has gone completely still. All that controlled power crystallized into shock. Those dark eyes, my eyes, scan my face with an intensity that makes me want to disappear into the marble floor. What's your full name? His voice has changed, become something sharp and desperate. Mira Santos, sir. How old are you? 22. Where were you born? Where were you born? The questions are coming faster now, and the other men have noticed his reaction. Marco's hand has moved inside his jacket. The third man, older with silver hair, has pulled out his phone. I'm not sure, sir. I was adopted as a baby. I grew up in... Show me your left hand. My hand trembles as I hold it out. He doesn't touch me, just stares at it like it holds answers to questions I don't understand. The birthmark. His voice is barely above a whisper now. Behind. In your left ear. You have a birthmark there. How could he possibly know that? My free hand moves instinctively to cover it, but he's already seen the gesture, seen the confirmation in my reaction. Jesus Christ. Marco breathes. Boss, it can't be. Everyone out. Mr. Rossi's voice could cut steel. Now. Clear the entire east wing. I want this hallway empty in 30 seconds. The men move immediately, speaking rapidly into phones and radios. Within moments, the sound of footsteps echoes through the mansion as staff members evacuate. Mrs. Chen passes me, her expression worried, but she doesn't stop. And then it's just us, Dante Rossi and me, standing in his hallway with a lifetime of questions hanging between us. Take your hair down, he says quietly. Sir, I don't... Please. That single word, softened with something that sounds like pain, makes me reach up and pull out the elastic band. My dark hair falls around my shoulders, curling slightly at the ends the way it always does, when it's humid. Turn around. Show me the birthmark. My hands shake as I sweep my hair forward over my shoulder, exposing the left side of my neck. I feel his presence move closer, not touching, but close enough that I can smell expensive cologne and something else. Leather and gunpowder. Mira Santos. He's testing the name, tasting it. What do you know about your adoption? Not much, sir. The records were sealed. I just know I was found abandoned in Chicago when I was 6 months old. The hospital called me baby doe until the Santos family took me in. 6 months old. 22 years ago. His voice has gone hollow. The math fits. Sir, I don't understand. That birthmark. It's genetic. Dominant gene that runs in the Rossi family. Every member of my direct bloodline has it in the exact same location. He moves in front of me again, and I see something in his face I never expected to see on a man like Dante Rossi. Tears. My daughter was taken from her crib 22 years ago. She was 6 months old. She had that exact birthmark. His hand rises like he wants to touch my face, then drops. We searched for years, spent millions, followed every lead, every rumor. I was told she was dead, that whoever took her had killed her when the ransom exchange went wrong. The hallway tilts. My knees go weak. No, that's not. I can't be. Your eyes. They're exactly like my mother's. That specific shade, those gold flecks. He's cataloging me now, piece by piece, finding evidence in every feature. Your nose, the shape of your face, the way you stand with your weight on your right foot. My wife used to stand exactly like that. This is crazy. I'm backing away, my cleaning supplies forgotten on the floor. I'm nobody. I clean houses and take care of my grandmother and... What's your blood type? The question stops me cold. AB negative, I whisper. Less than 1% of the population. His voice is rough now, breaking. Same as mine. Same as my daughter's. The pieces are falling into place with horrible, impossible clarity. The way he's looking at me. The birthmark he somehow knew about. The age, the timeline, the blood type. I need to sit down. He guides me to a bench near the windows, his hand hovering near my elbow but not quite touching, like he's afraid I'll shatter. We sit in silence for a long moment, the afternoon sun streaming through stained glass, casting colored shadows across the marble. Her name was Isabella. He speaks quietly, staring straight ahead. Isabella Marie Rossi. She was born on March 15th. Do you know when your birthday is? March 15th. The words taste like ash. The Santos family always celebrated it, but they said they'd just chosen a date since no one knew for sure. She had the birthmark. We used to joke that it was so we could always find her in the dark, that the moon would always watch over her. His hands clench into fists on his knees. When she was taken, my wife, He stops, swallows hard. Gabriella died 6 months later. Heart attack, the doctors said. But it was grief. She couldn't live without our daughter. I'm sorry. The words are inadequate, but they're all I have. I'm so sorry for your loss. My loss. He finally looks at me, and the raw pain in his eyes makes my chest ache. Mira, I don't think you understand. I've been living with a ghost for 22 years, mourning a daughter I was told was dead. And now you're sitting here, alive, with her birthmark and her blood type and her mother's eyes. But I could just be a coincidence. Do you believe in coincidence? His voice is sharp now, cutting. Because I don't. Not in my world. Not with this many matching factors. He pulls out his phone, makes a call. Vincent. I need doctor. Morrison here immediately. Bring a paternity test kit. Yes, now. I don't care if he's in surgery, get him here. My heart pounds so hard I can hear it in my ears. You want a test? I need to. No, for certain. But Mira, he turns to face me fully, and I see the man behind the reputation, the father behind the mob boss. I already know in here. He touches his chest. I knew the moment Marco made me really look at you. The moment I saw that birthmark. If this is true, I can barely form the words. If I'm really her, really your daughter, where have I been for 22 years? Who took me? Why was I left at a hospital instead of killed? Those are questions I intend to answer. The coldness in his voice raises chills on my arms. Someone took my child. Someone let me believe she was dead for 2 decades. Someone is responsible for my wife dying of a broken heart. He stands, begins pacing, and I see the transformation. This isn't a grieving father anymore. This is the man who runs a criminal empire, who makes people disappear, who solves problems with violence. Sir Mr. Rossi, if you're my daughter, you don't call me sir. He stops pacing, looks at me with such fierce hope it hurts. You call me dad, or father, or even Dante, but never sir. I don't know if I can. My voice breaks. I've had a life. I have Nona, the woman who raised me. She's sick. She needs me. I have responsibilities, and I don't know anything about your world or tell me about her, about this grandmother. So I do. I tell him about Mira Santos, the woman who took in a foundling baby when she had barely enough money to feed herself, who worked 2 jobs to give me a childhood, who taught me to cook and clean and survive, who's now dying of liver cancer in a hospice facility that costs everything I can earn and more. She saved me. I finish quietly. Whatever happened before, whoever I was supposed to be, she gave me a life. A good life, even if it was hard. Dante is quiet for a long moment. Then, how much does her care cost? That's not why I'm telling you. How much, Mira? $15,000 a month for the facility, plus medications, treatments. I swallow hard. I'm 3 months behind. They're going to move her to county hospice next week if I can't catch up. He pulls out his phone again, types rapidly. What's the facility name? I can't let you. The name, Mira. Sacred Heart Hospice on Ashland. More typing. Then he makes another call. Tony. Wire $50,000 to Sacred Heart Hospice on Ashland. Patient name Mira Santos. Yes now. Make sure they know it covers 6 months advance, and she's to receive premium care. Any questions? They call me directly. He ends the call. Looks at me with an expression I can't quite read. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. If you're my daughter and every instinct I have says you are, then the woman who saved you and raised you deserves better than dying in a county facility. His voice softens. And even if the test somehow says you're not, you're still someone who needed help. In my world, we take care of our people. Footsteps echo in the hallway. A man in Read It Also Ray, his 60s, wearing a rumpled suit and carrying a medical bag, hurries toward us. Dante, what's the emergency? They said. He stops, seeing me. Who's this? This is Mira Santos. Dr. Morrison, I need you to do a paternity test. Now, rush the results, I want them tonight. The doctor's eyes widen with understanding. He looks between us, clearly seeing what everyone else is going to see, the resemblance that can't be coincidence. Of course. Miss Santos, if you'll consent to a cheek swab? I nod, unable to speak. This is really happening. In less than 12 hours, I'll know for certain if the man standing in front of me is my father. If I'm not Mira Santos at all, but Isabella Rossi. If my entire life has been built on a lie. The doctor works quickly, swabbing both our cheeks, labeling samples with practiced efficiency. I'll run this personally, Should have results by 8 tonight. After he leaves, silence falls again. Dante and I sit on opposite ends of the bench, strangers, there who might be family, separated by 2 decades and a lifetime of questions. What happens if it's positive? I finally ask. Then we figure out who took you and why. We find out how you ended up at that hospital. We get answers. He looks at me. And you move in here, immediately. I have a life that's been stolen from you. A life that should have been so different. His voice is intense now, passionate. Mira, if you're my daughter, then you're an heir to the Rossi family. You have wealth, protection, a future that's about more than scrubbing my floors. Maybe I like my life. Maybe I don't want to be part of whatever you do. You think you have a choice? He doesn't sound angry, just matter of fact. If you're Isabella Rossi, people will know. The families will know. Every enemy I've ever made will see you as a target or a tool. Fear slides cold fingers down my spine. So I'm just supposed to give up everything? Abandon the life I know? I'm supposed to protect my daughter. However I can, whatever it takes. He stands, looks down at me with an expression that's part determination, part desperate hope. 8 o'clock tonight, we'll know for certain. Until then, you're staying here. In the guest wing, with guards posted. No arguments. You can't just, I can and I will. Someone took you once. I won't let it happen again. Mrs. Chen appears at the end of the hallway, looking uncertain. Dante waves her over. Mrs. Chen, Miss Santos will be staying in the blue guest suite. Make sure she has everything she needs. She's to be treated as family, not staff. Understand? Mrs. Chen's eyes go wide, but she nods. Of course, Mr. Rossi. As she leads me away toward the private quarters I was never supposed to enter, I look back once. Dante Rossi stands in the center of his marble hallway, looking more alone than any man should look, looking like a father who's just found his ghost daughter and is terrified of losing her again. Behind my left ear, the crescent moon birthmark seems to burn, and somewhere in the back of my mind, a 6-month-old baby cries in the darkness, reaching for parents who will search for her for 22 years without ever knowing she's been hiding in plain sight all along. If you're hooked on this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. The Blue Guest Suite is larger than the entire apartment I share with 3 other girls in Pilsen. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook manicured gardens that probably require a full-time staff. The bed looks like it belongs in a luxury hotel. All white linens and decorative pillows. There's a sitting area with furniture that's definitely antique, a bathroom with marble everything, and a walk-in closet currently empty except for this morning. Was it really only this morning that I was just a housekeeper? Mrs. Chen hovers near the door, her usual efficiency replaced by nervous uncertainty. Is there anything you need, Miss Santos? I can have dinner brought up, or if you'd prefer to eat in the dining room. I don't know what I prefer. The words come out sharper than I intend. This morning I was cleaning toilets. Now I'm supposed to be treated as family. You can understand why I'm a little confused about protocol. Her expression softens. For what it's worth, I've worked for Mr. Rossi for 15 years. I've never seen him look at anyone the way he looked at you today. Like he was seeing a miracle. After she leaves, I sink onto the bed and pull out my phone. 3 missed calls from Nana's facility. My heart clenches as I call back. Miss Santos. This is Director Palmer at Sacred Heart. I'm calling about Mrs. Santos's account. We received a rather large wire transfer this afternoon. I know, it's legitimate. $50,000 is well beyond your usual payments. We wanted to confirm there wasn't an error. No error. That should cover the next 6 months, with the remainder going toward upgrading her care. Silence. Then, Miss Santos, with this payment, we can move your grandmother to the premium wing. Private room, specialized care, everything we discussed before but couldn't afford. Is that what you want? Tears burn behind my eyes. Yes, that's exactly what I want. After I hang up, I let myself cry. Not sad tears, exhausted ones, overwhelmed ones. I've been drowning for so long, working multiple jobs, watching the debt pile up, knowing I was losing the race against Nona's illness. And in one afternoon, one phone call from a man who might be my father, that burden has been lifted. But at what cost? I stand, pace to the windows. From up here, I can see the estate grounds stretching out like a private kingdom. Somewhere below, Dante Rossi is making calls, investigating, preparing for whatever comes next. And I'm trapped in this beautiful cage, waiting for test results that will either confirm I'm his daughter or prove this was all some impossible coincidence. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. The text is simple. We know who you are. We know what you mean to him. Run. My blood turns to ice. Before I can process it, there's a sharp knock on the door. I shove my phone in my pocket, heart hammering, half expecting whoever sent that text to be standing in the hallway. Instead, it's a woman around my age, maybe a year or two older. She's wearing designer jeans and a silk blouse that probably costs more than my monthly rent, her dark hair styled in perfect waves. She's beautiful in that effortless way that comes from good genes and better money. So you're the girl who broke my uncle's brain. She walks in without invitation, examining me with undisguised curiosity. I'm Sofia Rossi, Dante's niece. Word travels fast in this family, and apparently my uncle had a complete meltdown over the new maid this afternoon. I don't think meltdown is the right word. He cleared the entire East Wing, locked himself in his study for 2 hours, and has been making frantic calls to everyone from doctors to private investigators. Trust me, that's a meltdown. Sophia sits on the arm of the couch, still studying me. You really have the birthmark? I sweep my hair aside. Show her. Her eyes widen. Holy shit. You're actually her. You're Isabella. We don't know that yet. The test results won't be back until tonight. Mira, can I call you Mira? I don't need a test to know. I've seen the pictures. My whole life, I've grown up with photos of the cousin I never met, the baby who was stolen. You look exactly like the age progression photos they had made. Exactly like Aunt Gabriella at your age. She pauses. If you're really her, do you know what this means? That my entire life has been a lie? That you're the heir to one of the most powerful families in Chicago. Sophia's voice is serious now. That you're worth protecting. And worth targeting. Has anyone briefed you on security protocols yet? I pull out my phone, show her the text. I just got this. Her face goes pale. Uncle Dante needs to see this immediately. This isn't Mira. This is a direct threat. Someone knows you're here, knows what you potentially are. She's already moving toward the door, but I catch her arm. Wait. Before you tell him, I need to understand something. What exactly am I walking into? What does being a Rossi actually mean? Sophia looks at me for a long moment, then sighs. Come with me. If you're going to be part of this family, you need to see what that actually entails. She leads me through hallways I've cleaned but never really seen. We pass rooms I was told never to enter, take staircases meant for family, not staff. Other people, clearly family members or high-ranking associates, stop to stare as we pass. Word really does travel fast here. We end up in what Sophia calls the family library. It's smaller than the main one, more intimate, with leather, chairs and walls lined with books that look like they've actually been read. She pulls down a photo album, heavy and old. This is the history you never got to know. The first photo shows a young couple on their wedding day. The man is clearly Dante younger, harder, with less silver in his hair. The woman is breathtaking, with dark eyes and a smile that could light up rooms. Your parents, Sophia says quietly. Dante and Gabriella. They were married for 5 years before you were born. Everyone said they were the perfect match. He was the heir to the Rossi empire. She was from the Calabrese family, one of our oldest allies. It was a strategic marriage that turned into real love. She flips pages, more photos. Dante and Gabriella at charity events, at family gatherings, laughing together in candid shots that show genuine affection. Then a photo of Gabriella pregnant, glowing with happiness, and another of Dante holding a tiny baby wrapped in pink, looking down at her with an expression of absolute wonder. That's you, Isabella Marie Rossi, 6 days old. My throat tightens. I force myself to look at the baby's face, trying to see myself in those features. It's impossible to tell. All babies look generic, wrinkled, and vaguely alien. But the birthmark is visible behind her tiny ear, the crescent moon that marks me even now. There are only 12 photos of you, Sophia continues. You were stolen 6 months after this was taken, right from your crib, while your parents were hosting a dinner party downstairs. 20 guests, dozens of staff members, top-level security, and someone still managed to walk out with you. How is that possible? That's the question that's haunted this family for 22 years. She flips to newspaper clippings, carefully preserved in plastic sleeves. Headlines scream about the kidnapping. Mob boss's daughter stolen. Rossi heir missing. Massive manhunt for baby Isabella. Your father paid the ransom. $2 million, delivered exactly as instructed. But you were never returned. Instead, she points to another headline. 3 days later, they found a baby's body. Female, approximately 6 months old, with a crescent-shaped birthmark behind her left ear. My stomach drops. But I'm alive. The DNA test was never conclusive. The body was badly decomposed. They said it had been in the water for at least a week. But the birthmark matched, the age matched, and your father was told his daughter was dead, that the kidnappers had panicked and killed you before the ransom exchange. So whose body was it? No one knows. The case went cold. Your father spent years investigating, hiring private detectives, following up every lead. But eventually, he had to accept that you were gone. Sophia's voice softens. Aunt Gabriella never accepted it. She kept your room exactly as it was, talked to you like you were still there. 6 months after the kidnapping, she had a massive heart attack, stress-induced, cardiomyopathy. She died believing her baby was dead. I'm crying now, tears streaming down my face for a woman I never knew but who was apparently my mother, for a life that was stolen from all of us. If I'm really Isabella, then someone faked my death. Someone let a family mourn for 22 years when I was alive the whole time. And that's why Uncle Dante will tear apart Chicago to find out who. Sophia closes the album. That's why you're not safe, Mira. Because when he starts asking questions, when he starts investigating what really happened, people are going to get nervous. People who thought this secret was buried forever. The threat text suddenly makes horrible sense. Someone knows I've been found. Someone who's been hiding the truth for over 2 decades. I should leave, I say suddenly. I should disappear before anyone else gets hurt. Go back to being nobody. It's too late for that. The moment my uncle looked at you and saw his daughter, you became someone. You can't unknow what you know now. Sophia grips my shoulders. But you're not alone. The Rossi family protects its own. And if you're one of us, you've got an entire organization ready to die for you. A knock on the library door makes us both jump. A man in his 30s, wearing tactical gear and carrying himself like former military, steps inside. Miss Rossi, Miss Santos. Mr. Rossi wants you both in his office immediately. We've had a development. Sophia and I exchange glances. The fear in her eyes mirrors mine. We follow the guard. Sophia calls him Marco, the same one who first noticed my resemblance to Dante through more hallways until we reach a heavy oak door. He knocks once, then opens it. Dante's office is exactly what I'd expect. Dark wood, expensive leather, walls lined with books and art that's probably priceless. But the man behind the desk looks nothing like the controlled mob boss from this afternoon. He looks destroyed. The preliminary results came back early. His voice is rough, like he's been crying or shouting or both. Dr. Morrison rushed them when I explained the urgency. My heart stops. And? He stands, moves around the desk, and I see his hands are shaking. Dante Rossi, the man who commands an empire, who makes grown men nervous, is trembling. 99.9% probability of paternity. The words come out broken. Mira Santos, you're my daughter. You're Isabella. The room spins. Sophia catches my elbow, steadies me. You're sure? I manage. There's no mistake? No mistake. The genetic markers are unmistakable. You're mine. He moves closer, and I see tears streaming down his face. My daughter. My Isabella. You've been alive this whole time. He reaches for me hesitantly, like he's afraid I'll disappear. When I don't move away, his arms wrap around me, pulling me into a hug that feels like it's been 22 years in the making. And I let him hold me. Let this stranger who's my father cry against my hair while Sophia watches with her own tears falling. Let myself feel the weight of what this means, that I had parents who wanted me, who mourned me, who never stopped loving me even when they thought I was dead. When we finally pull apart, Dante wipes his face roughly. I need to know everything. Everything about your life, about the Santos family, about how you ended up at that hospital. Someone has answers, and I'm going to find them. There's something else. I showed him the text. I got this right before Sophia came to my room. His expression goes from grief to cold fury in a heartbeat. Marco, trace this number. Now, I want to know who sent it, where they are, and everything about them within the hour. Sir, there's more. Marco pulls out a tablet. We've been reviewing security footage from the past 3 months, since Miss Santos started working here. Someone's been watching her. He shows us footage from various angles. Me walking to work, me leaving the estate, me visiting Nonna at the... Hospice. In every shot, there's a car in the background. Different vehicles, but always maintaining distance. They've been following her for weeks, Dante says quietly. They knew where she was. They were watching, waiting. Why? Maybe they wanted to be sure, Sophia suggests. Wanted to confirm she was really Isabella before making a move. Or maybe they were waiting to see if I'd notice her. Dante's jaw tightens. Someone's playing a game. They put my daughter right under my nose, working in my house, and waited to see how long it would take me to recognize her. The implications are chilling. So this wasn't an accident. Me getting hired here was deliberate. He turns to Marco. Pull the employment records. How did Mira Santos get hired? Marco's already typing. Application came through the normal channels. References from previous employers, all verified. Hired by Mrs. Chen 3 months ago to replace Rosa Martinez, who retired. Who verified the references? Standard. Protocol. Our HR department runs background checks, calls references. I want every person involved in hiring her questioned. I want to know if anyone was paid off, threatened, or coerced. Dante's voice is ice. Someone manufactured this situation. Someone wanted her here. My phone buzzes again. Another text from the same unknown number. The Santos woman isn't who you think she is. Ask your father about the Calabrese betrayal. Ask him who really wanted his daughter dead. I show it to Dante. Watch the color drain from his face. The Calabrese family. He says it like a curse. Gabriella's family. Your wife's family? Sophia sounds shocked. Uncle Dante, they've been our allies for decades. They'd never. Gabriella's brother, Marco Calabrese, was ambitious. Wanted more power, more territory. Dante's voice is distant, remembering. Right before Isabella was taken, we'd had a dispute. He wanted to expand operations into areas I considered too risky. I shut him down, and I wasn't happy about it. You think he kidnapped his own niece? I can barely process it. I think someone in the Calabrese family might have been involved. And when the kidnapping went wrong, when I paid the ransom and they couldn't produce Isabella alive, they faked her death to cover their tracks. His hands clench into fists. And then they stayed quiet for 22 years while I mourned my daughter and my wife died of grief. If that's true, Sophia says quietly, if the Calabrese family was responsible, why would they bring her back now? Why put her in your house where you'd eventually notice? Because something's changed. Dante pulls out his phone, makes a call. Vincent, I need everything we have on current Calabrese family activities. Last 6 months. Every transaction, every meeting, every unusual movement. Yes, I know what time it is. I don't care. I need it tonight. He ends the call, looks at me. Until we know what's happening. Until we understand why you've been brought back into my life now. You don't leave this house. You don't go anywhere without armed guards. You trust no one outside this room. I need to see Nana. She'll be worried. I'll send people to protect her. But you, Isabella. He stops, corrects himself. Mira, you stay here where I can keep you safe. You can't call me Isabella. The words burst out. I'm not her. I don't know how to be her. I'm Mira Santos. And I've been Mira Santos for 22 years. I don't know how to be a mob boss's daughter. Then I'll teach you. His voice is firm but gentle. But right now, what you need to understand is that being Mira Santos made you invisible. Being Isabella Rossi makes you a target. Every enemy I've ever made, every rival family, every person who wants leverage over me, they all just found it. Another buzz. This time it's not a text but a photo. The image shows Nona in her hospice bed, clearly taken today. She's sleeping, peaceful, unaware that someone is in her room, taking pictures. The caption reads, "She's not safe either. Neither of you are. He knows too much. They're coming." Dante sees the photo and his entire demeanor changes. Marco, get a team to Sacred Heart now. Full protection detail on Elena Santos. Anyone who's not staff or family doesn't get within 50 feet of her room. Sir, that'll draw attention. I don't care. My daughter just got her back. I'm not letting anyone use her grandmother as leverage. He looks at me. Mira, I need you to call the hospice. Tell them my people are coming, and they're to cooperate fully. Anyone who objects gets removed from the premises. My hands shake as I make the call. Director Palmer sounds confused but agrees to allow the security team. Within minutes, Marco confirms his people are in position. Whoever's sending these messages wants us scared, Sophia says. Wants us making mistakes. Then we don't give them what they want. Dante moves to a wall panel, presses something, and a section. slides away to reveal monitors showing security feeds from all over the estate. This house is a fortress. 24-hour surveillance, armed guards, multiple layers of security. No one gets in without my knowledge. Unless they're already in, I say quietly. Everyone looks at me. You said someone manipulated my hiring, put me in your house deliberately. What if they planted other people too? What if there's someone already inside your security? The silence that follows is heavy with implications. Marco, full background checks on every employee hired in the past year. Not the standard checks, deep investigation. Financial records, family connections, everything. Dante's voice is deadly calm. And increase rotation on guard shifts. No one stays in one position long enough to establish patterns. That'll take days, boss. Maybe weeks. Then we work fast. He turns to me. Mira, I need you to write down everything you remember about how you got hired. Every interaction, every person you met. Anything that seemed even slightly unusual. It was all normal. Mrs. Chen interviewed me, checked my references, offered me the position. I stop. Wait, there was one thing. When I first applied, the listing said they were looking for someone who spoke Spanish, but Mrs. Chen never asked me about that. Never checked if I actually spoke it. Because someone already knew you did, Sophia says. They knew everything about you, Dante adds. They've been watching you for months, maybe years, building a profile, waiting for the right moment to put you in position. My phone rings. Not a text this time, an actual call from the unknown number. Dante grabs it, puts it on speaker. Who is this? His voice could cut steel. A laugh comes through, distorted by a voice modulator. Hello, Dante. It's been a long time. Who are you? What do you want? What I've always wanted. What was denied to me 22 years ago. The voice is impossible to identify, male or female, young or old. You took something from my family. Now I'm taking something from yours. If you touch my daughter. Your daughter? Another laugh. Is that what you think she is? Did you even wonder why Mira Santos, a woman with barely enough money to survive, would take in a random baby? Did you question how she happened to find an abandoned infant at exactly the right age, with exactly the right birthmark? My blood runs cold. Mira Santos was paid to take Isabella, paid to raise her in poverty, to keep her hidden, to make sure she never knew who she really was. The voice continues, relentless. She's been on our payroll for 22 years, and now that her usefulness has ended, well, no. The word tears from my throat. Nana would never. Ask her yourself. If you can get to her before we do. The cancer treatment we've been paying for? Let's just say her doctors might have made some adjustments to her medication tonight. The line goes dead. I'm already running. Out of the office, down the hallway, toward the front entrance. Behind me, I hear Dante shouting orders, Sophia calling my name, Marco radioing his team, but all I can think about is Nonna, the woman who raised me, who loved me, who's supposedly been lying to me my entire life, and who might be dying right now because someone decided she's no longer useful. Strong hands catch me before I reach the door. Dante spins me around, grips my shoulders. We go together, with proper security. You running in there alone is exactly what they want. They said they poisoned her, and my people are already there. Marco's team will secure her, get doctors we trust to examine her, figure out what's happening. His eyes bore into mine. But Mira, you need to prepare yourself. If what that person said is true, if Mira Santos was involved in your kidnapping, she's still the woman who raised me. Tears stream down my face. She's still my Nana. I don't care what she did 22 years ago. I need to save her. Something in his expression softens. Then we save her. And then we get answers. All of them. Within minutes, we're in an armored SUV, surrounded by a convoy of security vehicles. Sophia insisted on coming, sitting beside me and holding my hand while Dante makes rapid-fire calls, coordinating with his people at the hospice. The drive to Sacred Heart takes 15 minutes that feel like hours. When we arrive, the building is surrounded by Dante's men, looking distinctly out of place among the quiet hospice grounds. Marco meets us at the entrance. She's stable. We got there in time. Someone had tampered with her IV, introduced something into the line, but our medic caught it before much entered her system. Relief makes my knees weak. Can I see her? She's sedated. The doctors want her unconscious while they flush whatever toxin was used from her system. Marco's expression is grim. But boss, we need to talk. The staff here, some of them are missing. And we found this in the security office. He hands Dante a file folder. Inside are photographs, dozens of them, pictures of me at different ages as a toddler, a child, a teenager, always with Nana, always carefully documenting my life. And paperclipped to each photo is a payment receipt. Regular deposits into Elena Santos's bank account, marked only with a numbered code. She was being paid to document your life, Dante says quietly, to prove you were alive and being cared for. By who? My voice breaks. Who was paying her? That's what we're going to find out. He looks at Marco. The missing staff members' descriptions? 3 nurses, all hired within the past month, and Director Palmer himself. He left about an hour ago, right after Miss Santos's payment came through. They planted people here too. Sophia sounds angry. Used the hospice as a surveillance post. We're led to Nana's new room in the premium wing. She looks so small in the hospital bed, tubes and monitors surrounding. Her skin gray with illness. But she's breathing. She's alive. I sink into the chair beside her bed, take her hand. Nana, what did you do? What were you involved in? She doesn't answer. Can't answer, sedated as she is. But on the table beside her bed, there's a handwritten note that wasn't there before. Marco confirms his team cleared the room but found this folded under her pillow. The handwriting is shaky but unmistakable Nana's writing. Mira, if you're reading this, then they've finally made their move. I'm so sorry, mi amor. I'm sorry for the lies, for the secrets, for raising you without telling you the truth. They said they'd kill you if I ever told. Said they'd kill us both. I was so scared, but I loved you too much to let you die. Forgive me. Please forgive me. The man who gave you to me, his name was Marco Calabrese. The note slips from my fingers. Marco Calabrese, Gabriella's brother. Dante's former brother-in-law. He's still alive, Dante says quietly, reading over my shoulder. Living in Florida, supposedly retired from family business. But if he orchestrated Isabella's kidnapping, if he's behind all of this, his phone rings. He answers, listens, and his face goes completely white. When? A pause. How many casualties? Another pause. Secure the perimeter. No one in or out. I'm on my way. He ends the call, looks at me with an expression that makes my blood freeze. Someone just bombed the east wing of my house. The guest suite where you were staying, it's been completely destroyed. The drive back to the Rossi estate feels surreal. Smoke rises in the distance, visible even from miles away. Fire trucks and emergency vehicles crowd the street outside, their lights painting the night sky in alternating red and blue. Someone just tried to kill me. If I'd been in that room, if Dante hadn't called us to his office, if we hadn't rushed to the hospice, I'd be dead right now, blown apart by a bomb planted in the beautiful blue guest suite, where I'd cried over my lost mother just hours ago. Breathe, Mira. Sophia's voice cuts through my spiraling thoughts. You're hyperventilating. I force air into my lungs, but it feels like drowning. They knew exactly where I'd be. They knew which room. Which confirms what we suspected. Dante's voice is eerily calm from the front seat. Someone inside my organization is feeding them information. Someone with access to guest room assignments, security protocols, my schedule. Could be anyone. Marco says grimly. Cook, guard, cleaning staff, even family members. The SUV pulls through the gates, now reinforced by even more security, and we see the damage up close. The entire east wing is a smoking crater. Debris litters the grounds. Windows are shattered throughout the main house. Men in tactical gear move through the destruction with practiced efficiency. A man in his 50s, gray hair and wearing a suit despite the late hour, hurries over as we exit the vehicle. His face is grim. Mr. Rossi. Preliminary assessment suggests C4 explosive, professionally placed. Timer detonation, set to go off at 9:45 p.m., exactly when Miss Santos would have been preparing for bed, based on the schedule Mrs. Chen provided earlier. Casualties? Dante's voice is clipped. 3 guards injured, none critical. We're lucky the wing was mostly empty after you ordered the evacuation earlier today. The man glances at me. If she'd been in that room, she wasn't. That's what matters. Dante's hand finds the small of my back, a protective gesture that feels both foreign and oddly comforting. Vincent, I want every inch of this property swept. Every room, every vehicle, every piece of furniture. If there are more explosives, I want them found. Already in progress, sir. We've also begun enhanced screening of all personnel. No one enters or leaves without full security checks. As Vincent walks away to coordinate, I stare at the destruction. My destruction. The room, where I'd stood just hours ago, trying to process that I might be Isabella Rossi, is now a smoking hole. This is my fault. The words tumble out. If I hadn't come here, if I just stayed invisible, then you'd still be in danger, just without protection. Dante turns me to face him. Mira, whoever's behind this has been planning for years. They put you in position deliberately. This was always going to happen. The only variable was whether you'd have an army protecting you when it did. He's right. Sophia moves closer, creating a protective circle. They wanted you found. Wanted Uncle Dante to know you were alive. This is all part of some larger plan. But what plan? What do they gain by bringing me back just to kill me? Chaos. Marco's voice is hard. They gain chaos. The boss's long-lost daughter returns, then dies violently on his property. Every family in Chicago would question his ability to protect his own. Rivals would see weakness. Allies would get nervous. The organization would destabilize. And in that instability, Dante continues, someone makes a move, takes territory, eliminates competition, restructures power dynamics. His jaw tightens. This isn't about you, Mira. You're a weapon. They're using your existence and death as a catalyst for something bigger. My phone buzzes. I almost don't want to look. But Dante takes it from my hand, checks the screen. His expression darkens. It's a video. He holds the phone so we can all see. The video quality is poor, clearly shot on a phone in low light, but the subject is unmistakable. Marco Calabrese. Older than in the photos I saw earlier, gray-haired and weathered, but definitely him. He's tied to a chair in what looks like an abandoned warehouse. Blood streams from his nose. Someone off-camera speaks in Italian too fast for me to catch more than a few words. Then the person holding the camera moves into frame. He's maybe 40, wearing an expensive suit that's now splattered with blood. Dark hair, cold eyes, and a smile that makes my skin crawl. Hello, Dante. His English is accented. Italian. I believe you've been looking for answers. Allow me to provide some. He grabs Marco's hair, yanks his head back. This man orchestrated the kidnapping of your daughter 22 years ago. He hired the team, arranged the logistics, paid Mira Santos to raise the child in obscurity. All of this he did on orders from his father, your former father-in-law, who believed you weren't worthy of the Calabrese alliance. That's a lie, Marco chokes out. I never... A fist crashes into his jaw. When he spits blood, I see teeth. Don't interrupt. The man in the suit pulls a knife, casually traces it along Marco's cheek. Where was I? Ah, yes. The kidnapping went wrong. The team that was supposed to keep Isabella safe panicked. They tried to ransom her anyway, thinking they could salvage the situation. When that failed, they were going to kill her to eliminate evidence. But someone stopped them. Marco's voice is barely audible. Someone took the baby before they could finish it. I don't know who. I swear I don't know. How convenient. Another slash. Marco screams. You orchestrate a kidnapping, lose the child, fake her death, and now claim ignorance about who actually saved her? The man turns back to the camera. Dante, your former brother-in-law, is lying. He knows exactly who took Isabella to that hospital. He knows exactly who's been protecting her for 22 years. And he knows exactly why she's been returned to you now. He presses the knife against Marco's throat. Would you like me to make him tell the truth? It'll be messy, but I'm very good at extracting information. Wait. Marco's voice cracks with terror. Wait, please, I'll tell you everything. Just don't. Then talk. It was Luca Ferraro. He's been working with your father for years, Dante. Since before Isabella was born. He was supposed to be part of the kidnapping, a team, but he double-crossed us. Took the baby, left her at the hospital, kept her location secret. We thought she was dead for years, because he convinced us the body in the water was hers. Dante's entire body has gone rigid beside me. Luca, you're second in command, Sophia breathes. Uncle Dante, he's been with you since you took over. He helped you build everything after your father died. He's been lying the entire time. Dante's voice is hollow. He knew where Isabella was, knew she was alive, and he never said anything. On the video, the man in the suit smiles. There's more, of course, much more, but I think that's enough truth for one night. He draws the knife across Marco's throat in one smooth motion. We watch him die. Watch the blood pour. Watch the light fade from his eyes. Then the camera moves, shows us another figure bound in the shadows. Director Palmer from the hospice, gagged and terrified. This one helped them monitor your daughter. Took payments to keep tabs on. Her health, Her movements, her life. He's already told me everything he knows. The knife gleams in the dim light. Should I kill him too? Or would you prefer to handle this one personally? The video ends. Silence stretches between us, heavy with implications. Luca. Dante says the name like a curse. He's been in my house today. In my office during the emergency meetings. He knew about Mira being moved to the guest suite. He knew our entire schedule. He could have planted the bomb, Marco says, or arranged for someone else to do it. Boss, if he's been playing you for 22 years, where is he now? Marco pulls out his phone, makes calls. His expression grows darker with each one. No one's seen him since early this evening. He left around 7, said he was following up on leads. His phone is off. His car is at his apartment, but he's not there. He ran. Sophia sounds angry. As soon as he realized we were getting close to the truth, he disappeared. Find him. Dante's voice could freeze fire. I want every resource we have tracking Luca Ferraro. I want to know where he goes, who he talks to, where he's been for the past 22 years. I want his entire life dissected. And when we find him, Marco asks, bring him to me alive. I want to look him in the eye when he explains why he's been lying to me for 2 decades. Dante turns to me, and I see something break in his expression. Everyone I trusted, everyone I believed in. They all lied. Not everyone. I don't know where the words come from, but they feel true. Sophia's here. Marco's here. You have people who are loyal. Do I? Or are they just better liars? He runs a hand through his hair, suddenly looking exhausted. Mira, I brought you into this world promising protection. And in less than 12 hours, someone's already tried to kill you. In my own house. But I'm alive. Because of your security, your people, your paranoia. I step closer. Dante, whoever's behind this wants you. Doubting everything. Wants you paralyzed by suspicion. Don't give them that. Sophia nods. She's right. We stay focused. Find Luca. Find whoever sent that video. Shut them down before they can make another move. Miss Rossi? A guard approaches, looking uncomfortable. We found something during the sweep. You need to see this. We follow him into the main house, to a section I recognize the servants' quarters where I changed into my uniform this morning. A lifetime ago. My locker is open. Inside, among my few personal possessions, is a phone I've never seen before. It's powered on, showing a single contact saved in the directory. Handler. That's not mine, I say immediately. I've never seen that phone. It was hidden in a false bottom under your locker. The guard shows us the compartment. Professional installation. Someone put it there recently. Dante takes the phone, his expression unreadable. They planted evidence, trying to make it look like Mira was working with them, or providing her a way to communicate if she needed to. Marco examines the phone. Could go either way. I swear I don't know anything about this. I believe you. Dante cuts off my protest. But others might not. If we'd found this tomorrow, after you'd been killed in that explosion, it would have looked like you were part of the plan, like you betrayed me, covering their tracks, Sophia says, making sure even in death she'd take the blame. The phone rings in Dante's hand. We all stare at it. The caller ID shows, Handler. Answer it. I hear myself say, put it on speaker. Let's hear what they have to say. Dante hesitates, then accepts the call. Who is this? Who is this? You found the phone. The voice is different from the modulated one earlier. This one is natural, male, cultured. Good. I was hoping you would before the explosion destroyed it. Would have complicated things. Luca. Dante's voice is ice. Where are you? Somewhere safe. Somewhere you'll never find me, old friend. A pause. Did you enjoy the video? Marco sang beautifully once we applied the right pressure. 22 years of secrets, all spilling out. You've been lying to me since the beginning. You knew my daughter was alive. I saved your daughter. Luca's voice hardens. The Calabrese family wanted her dead, Dante. Truly dead. I'm the one who got her to that hospital, who made sure Mira Santos would protect her, who kept her hidden all these years. Hidden from me, her father. Hidden from everyone who wanted to use her as a weapon. Which, let's be honest, includes you. Luca laughs bitterly. Did you think I did this out of kindness? I've been planning this for 22 years, building my own organization, making connections, waiting for the right moment. Moment for what? To take everything you have. Your territory, your businesses, your power. And now, your daughter. The malice in his voice makes my blood run cold. I returned Isabella to you so I could take her away. Again. So you could feel the loss twice. Once when she was a baby you barely knew, and now when she's a woman you're just starting to love. Dante's knuckles are white around the phone. If you touch her, I already did. That bomb was just the opening move. I have resources you don't know about, people inside your organization you'd never suspect. Some of them have been mine longer than they've been yours. Luca's voice turned smug. How does it feel, Dante? Knowing you can't trust anyone? Knowing your own house isn't safe? I'll find you. And when I do, you'll do nothing. Because if anything happens to me, the information I've compiled about Isabella goes public. Every family in Chicago will know about her. Every rival, every enemy, every person with a grudge will know exactly where to find the weak spot in Dante Rossi's armor. Silence. Then, quietly, what do you want? What I've always wanted. Recognition. Respect. My rightful place. Luca's voice grows passionate. I've been your shadow for years, Dante. Your loyal second. The man who did all the dirty work while you got all the glory. I'm done being invisible. So this is about ego. This is about justice. About taking what should have been mine from the beginning. A pause. I'll be in touch with my demands. Keep Isabella close. I'd hate for something to happen to her before we can negotiate. The line goes dead. For a long moment, no one speaks. Then Dante throws the phone against the wall with such force it shatters into pieces. He's been planning this for 22 years. His voice is hollow. Every day, every decision, every moment of loyalty, it was all a lie, all leading to this. He wants you broken. Sophia moves to his side. Wants you doubting everything so when he makes his real move, you're too paralyzed to respond effectively. Then we don't give him that satisfaction. Marco's voice is hard. We lock down everything. Trust no one who hasn't been with the family since before. Luca joined. Build a core team of absolutely verified loyalists. That's maybe 20 people, Dante says, out of an organization of hundreds. Then those 20 become your inner circle. Everyone else gets watched, tested, verified. Marco looks at me. And Miss Santos doesn't leave your sight. No separate rooms, no private moments. If Luca wants to get to her, he has to go through you. I'm not a child who needs constant supervision. You're a target. Dante's voice cuts through my protest. The most valuable target in Chicago right now. Luca just told us he spent 2 decades planning to use you as leverage. That makes you the most dangerous person in this room. Dangerous to who? To me. He meets my eyes. Because I just found out you're alive, and I can't lose you again. Not to Luca. Not to anyone. Even if that means keeping you in a cage for your own protection. You can't lock me away. Watch me. We stare at each other, and I see the mob boss in full force now. This isn't the grieving father or the man who cried holding me. This is Dante Rossi, head of a criminal empire, making a decision that won't be argued with. Mira, I understand you want autonomy. I understand this isn't the life you chose. His voice softened slightly. But someone just tried to kill you. Someone who's had access to my home, my schedule, my organization for years. Until I root out every traitor, until I neutralize Luca's network. You're in a level of danger most people can't even comprehend. So what am I supposed to do? Hide in whatever room you assign me and wait for you to handle everything? Yes, exactly that. That's not living. That's just existing. But you'll be existing alive. He moves closer, and I see the desperation in his eyes. I've already mourned you once. Spent 22 years living with the ghost of my daughter. I won't survive losing you again. Not now that I know you're real. The raw emotion in his voice cracks something in my chest. This thing isn't about control or possession. This is about a father who's been given an impossible second chance and is terrified of losing it. Okay. The word comes out quiet. Okay, I'll stay close. I'll follow your security protocols. But Dante, you need to promise me something in return. What? Don't shut me out. Don't make decisions about my life without telling me. I've spent 22 years not knowing who I really was. I can't spend the next however long being kept in the dark about what's happening. I take his hand. If we're going to do this father-daughter thing, we do it honestly. No lies, no secrets, no protection through ignorance. He's quiet for a long moment, then nods. No lies, no secrets. You have my word. And Nonna gets the best protection I can provide. If she survives this, if she wakes up, we'll deal with her role in your kidnapping then. But I won't let Luca hurt her. Sophia's phone buzzes. She checks it, and her expression goes pale. Uncle Dante, you need to see this. She holds up her screen, showing a news alert. Explosion at Rossi Estate. Mafia violence returns to Chicago streets. Below it, another headline. Sources confirm Dante Rossi's kidnapped daughter found alive, immediately targeted. And another, 22-year mystery solved. Isabella Rossi returned days before attack. How? I can barely form words. How do they know all this? Luca. Dante's voice is grim. He leaked everything. Every detail about your return, the paternity test, the explosion. He's forcing my hand, making sure every family in the city knows you exist. Making her a target for everyone. Marco finishes. Even families that had nothing to do with Luca's plan will see her as leverage now. So what do we do? Sophia asks. Dante pulls out his phone, makes a call. Antonio, it's Dante. I need an emergency council meeting. Every family head in Chicago. Tomorrow night, neutral territory. No, I don't care if it's inconvenient. Tell them if they don't show. I'll consider it a declaration of war. He ends the call, looks at me. Tomorrow night, I introduce you to Chicago's underworld. Every family will see you're under my protection. Anyone who moves against you moves against the entire Rossi organization. You're making me visible. I'm making you untouchable. There's a difference. He touches my face gently. Luca wanted to use your existence as a weapon. Instead, I'm going to make it a shield. By tomorrow night, every criminal in this city will know that hurting you means death. And if that makes more enemies, then I deal with them, one by one, however long it takes. His thumb traces my cheekbone. You're my daughter, Isabella, Mira, whoever you choose to be, and I protect what's mine. Vincent appears in the doorway. Boss, we found something in Luca's office. Financial records he left behind. Looks like he wanted us to find them. We follow him to Luca's workspace, smaller than Dante's office, but still expensively. Furnished. The safe is open. Files spread across the desk. Bank accounts in the Caymans. Vincent explains. Payments going back 22 years to dozens of people. Guards, drivers, housekeepers, all on Luca's payroll. How many? Dante's voice is tight. At least 40 people currently in your employ. Maybe more we haven't identified yet. Vincent hands him a list. These are the confirmed ones, all receiving regular deposits, all in positions to gather intelligence or sabotage operations. Dante scans the list, and I see his expression shatter with each name. Mrs. Chen, Marco, Vincent himself is on here. Marco steps forward. Boss, I can explain. Explain what? That you've been spying for Luca? That everything you've done today was theater? Dante's hand moves toward his weapon. No, I took his money, yes, but I never reported to him, never gave him information. Marco's voice is desperate. I was investigating him, trying to figure out what he was planning. The payments, they were cover, made me look compromised so he'd think I was loyal. That's convenient. It's the truth. Boss, if I was working for Luca, why would I have helped secure Miss Santos today? Why would I have warned you about the surveillance? To maintain cover. To gain my trust right before you betray me completely. The gun is out now, pointed at Marco's chest. Sophia gasps. I step forward without thinking. Dante, don't. He's a traitor. Maybe. Or maybe he's telling the truth. I move between them, blocking the shot. But if you kill everyone on that list without proof, you'll have no one left. Luca wins because he's made you destroy your own organization. She's right. Vincent's voice is calm. Boss, I'm on that list too. I've been taking Luca's payments for 3 years, but every cent went into a separate account I was planning to show you when I had enough evidence. Check my phone records, my messages. I've been documenting everything. Dante doesn't lower the gun. Both of you. Against the wall. Phones on the desk. Now. They comply. Sophia and I watch as Dante goes through their phones with surgical precision, reading messages, checking call logs, examining every digital footprint. 10 minutes pass in silence. Then Dante lowers the weapon. You're both telling the truth. You've been investigating Luca. He sounds exhausted. But that means I have 40 people in my organization I can't trust, and no way to know who else might be compromised. We handle it systematically, Vincent says. Bring them in one by one, verify their stories. Anyone who can't prove their loyalty gets removed. That'll take days. We don't have days. Then we make time. Marco picks up his phone from the desk. Boss, Let me coordinate this. I've been tracking Luca longer than anyone. I know his methods, his contacts, his patterns. Use me. Dante considers this, then nods. You have until the council meeting tomorrow night. Anyone you can't verify gets locked down. I want them, contained but alive until we sort truth from lies. Understood. As Marco and Vincent leave to coordinate, Sophia touches my arm. You saved their lives just now. Uncle Dante was going to kill them both. I know. My hands are shaking with adrenaline, but he would have regretted it. And we can't afford regrets right now. Dante turns to us. It's almost midnight. The council meeting is 19 hours away. Until then, we work. No sleep, no breaks. We root out every traitor, lock down every weakness, and prepare to introduce my daughter to a world that's going to try to destroy her. He looks at me, and I see both fear and determination in his eyes. Welcome to the family business, Isabella. I take a deep breath, squaring my shoulders. 24 hours ago, I was invisible, just a housekeeper scrubbing floors. Now I'm Isabella Rossi, heir to a criminal empire, with a target on my back and a father who's willing to burn down Chicago to protect me. It's Mira, I tell him firmly. I'm still Mira, but I'm your Mira now. His expression softens, and for the first time since this nightmare began, I see him smile. Not the cold mob boss smile, but a real one. A father's smile. My Mira, he repeats quietly, pulling me into an embrace. We'll face whatever comes, together. Outside the windows, dawn is still hours away. The council meeting looms. Luca is still out there. 40 traitors need to be rooted out, and somewhere, Nonna lies unconscious, her secret still buried. But for this one moment, standing in my father's arms, I'm not afraid. I've spent 22 years lost. Now I'm found. And heaven help anyone who tries to take me away from my family again. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.